Good evening, everyone. We will call to order the City of Rockford's committee and council meetings this evening for Monday, July 7th. We do have a busy evening for us. We are fortunate this evening that we will have a special code and regs meeting, a special code and regulation meeting, a special finance and personnel meeting. We do have a proclamation. We have a full city council meeting. And we are also fortunate that we have Ann Rundle of the Baha'i Center of Rockford to provide us with our invocation this evening.
If everyone could take a deep breath, prepare yourself for a busy evening. O God, my God, shield thy trusted servants from the evils of self and passion. Protect them with the watchful eyes from all rancor, hate, and envy. O God, make our souls dependent upon the verse of thy divine unity, our hearts cheered with the outpourings of thy grace, that we may unite, even as the waves of one sea, that our thoughts, our views, our feelings may become as one reality, manifesting the spirit of union throughout the world. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Alderman Frost for our special finance and personnel meeting, but prior to him starting, I just want to say, Alderwoman Hoffman, we are happy to see you back here and happy to see you back here. With that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Chairman Frost of the Finance and Personnel Committee.
Thank you, Mayor. First, can we call the meeting to order? We have. There's one item on the special.
Sorry.
You want roll call?
Can we do a roll call?
Mm-hmm. Alderman Logeman. Here. Toomberg.
Here.
Frost.
Here.
Granith. Here. Beach. Here. 5 present.
Thank you. Under committee reports, we have one matter. It's a request to purchase for Head Start classroom materials from Discount School Supply in the amount of $94,999.44. They will be used to set up 3 new Head Start classrooms at the Parent and Child Education Center at the fairground site, and the funding source is a Head Start grant. Is there a motion to approve? Are there any questions or comments for staff? All right, seeing none, all those in favor indicate by aye. Aye. Opposed? Matter passes. Is there a motion to adjourn? All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All right, we're moving now. Next, we're going to move to Code and Regulation special meeting. I'll turn it over to Chairman Bonney.
Thank you, Mayor. We also have one item under committee reports, 58. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we also have a roll call?
Alderman Bonney.
Here.
Tarina. Wilkins. Here. Bell.
Here.
4 present.
Thank you. And we also have one item, 5801 Columbia Parkway. Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the modification of an existing liquor license for a 40% stock transfer in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 5801 Columbia Parkway. Diego Cervantes, Guzman, Luis Montez, Ciasa Santos, Ocelot, ROS LLC, Harrison Marketplace LLC, doing business as Maciano's Pizza and Pastaria are the applicants. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there any discussion on this item? Seeing none, will you call the roll, clerk, please?
Bonney.
Yes.
Tarina. Aye. Alderman Prunty. Do you want to vote or? Okay. All right. Thank you. Wilkins. Aye. Bell.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Motion passes. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
Great job, Jake. Thank you. Next, we're going to call to order the City of Rockford's regularly scheduled City Council meeting for Monday, July 7th, 2025. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Here. Logeman. Here. Toomberg. Here. Frost. Here. Torina. Here. Prunty. Here. Wilkins. Here. Hoffman. Here. Granith. Here. Beach. Here. Salgado. Meeks. Here. Bell. Bonnie. Here. 14 present.
Excellent. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the Journal of Proceedings for the City Council meeting held on May 19th, 2025? We have a motion. We have a second. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Excellent. Thank you. Next, I want to take a little step away from the printed agenda and just obviously tremendous devastation and pretty unimaginable loss of life took place in Texas this weekend. The last numbers I saw were that at least 89 had perished due to the floods, many of which were young people, and I know that many children are still missing at this time, including also not just from my last look, at least 10 campers, but also counselors and countless other residents in Texas. Really, if you watch the news or seen any of the footage, it's absolutely devastating on nearly every level you can think of just an unimaginable loss of life. And I would just ask this council if we could do a moment of silence in honor of the lives lost, all the heroic first responders and just incredibly courageous citizens who have stepped in to help save lives during that horrific devastation. Thank you for that. Next, we do have one proclamation this evening. It is for Disability Pride Month, and we are fortunate that we have Amy Newell, the Executive Director of ARC, as well as Shauna Gustafson. How are you? Shocker. Whereas Disability Pride Month is celebrated each July to honor the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act in 1990, a landmark piece of civil rights legislation that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities and affirms their right to full participation in all aspects of community life. And whereas more than 61 million Americans live with a disability, including thousands of Rockford residents, contributing their talents, perspectives, and leadership to every area of our community. And whereas Disability Pride Month recognizes the importance of inclusion, accessibility, and the inherent dignity of every person, while celebrating the diversity, culture, and accomplishments of people with disabilities. And whereas people with disabilities have historically faced and continue to face barriers to education, employment, healthcare, housing, and civic engagement. And whereas the City of Rockford affirms its commitment to promoting policies and practices that create a more equitable, inclusive, and accessible community for individuals of all abilities. And whereas we honor the work of local organizations, advocates, self-advocates, and families, especially those served by the ARC of Winnebago, Boone, and Ogle counties, who lead efforts in advancing disability rights, independence, and community living. Now, therefore, I, Thomas P. McNamara, as the mayor of the City of Rockford, do hereby proclaim the month of July 2025 to be Disability Pride Month. Amy, would you like to share a few words with us?
Thank you.
you. Thank you so much. We just love to be here for July, celebrating Disability Pride Month. We have yard signs for everybody. Last year, our Project Art organization made a beautiful mural that was outside our offices on Perryville for the month of July. And then this year, it's actually up in front of the Community Foundation, right on North 2nd Street. It just looks stunning in front of their building. We're so thankful for their partnership and commitment to the disability world right here in our area. But this year we wanted to get the kind of the word out about Disability Pride Month a little bit more widespread. And so our artists made all of these great yard signs. We have one for each of the alder people, as well as you, Mayor. And people can make a donation for these. However, we brought these as a gift to each of you that you can put up for the month in your yard. We are asking people that if you put it up, to take a picture, tag the ARC, and with a hashtag of Disability Pride 815, just so that you can kind of see where all it is. We're getting ready to ship some to Michigan. We're reaching all over, so. But each of these are different, as each person with a disability is different, and each of them have all of the symbols of Disability Pride Month, as well as the colors of the Disability Pride flag. You can find all of that information on our website, as well as on our social medias. I won't bore you with all of that, so I know you have a full agenda. I just appreciate everyone's commitment to people with disabilities. We're one of those minorities that anybody can join at any time in their life. And one of my good friends once said that if you live long enough, this will be one of those minorities that you do join. So we hope that everybody will stand behind Disability Pride and share our signs. So thank you very much. If you would like to make a donation, you can go to our website, which is just thearcwbo.org, or you can call our office, and anyone that answers the phone will be happy to take your credit card information. So thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Council members, with your permission, I'd like to take one other step that is not on the agenda this evening. Chief Panko, how are you? Good to see you. Could you come and join me? So as the chief's making her way up, Chief Panko was sworn in as our 11th fire chief of the Rockford Fire Department on September 8th, 2021. She made history as she became the first woman in the existence of the department to ever serve as our fire chief. Before serving as fire chief, she was the division chief of operations, which included the emergency services and disaster agency coordinator for the city of Rockford. Additionally, since starting with the department in 1992, Chief Panko has served as a firefighter, a training officer, an EMS operations chief, a lieutenant, a captain, and a district chief. Chief Panko has a bachelor's degree from Southern Illinois University and a master's degree in public administration from Northern Illinois University. She also holds a certificate as an Illinois Professional Emergency Manager from the Illinois Emergency Management Agency and the designation as a Fire Chief Officer through the Center of Public Safety Excellence. Chief Panko was awarded the American Red Cross Disaster Services Hero in April 2021, an award given by the Red Cross of Illinois to honor individuals for great acts of bravery, dedication, and service to our community. Overall, Chief Panko, you have just done an amazing job as the leader of our fire department. You have served every single one of your roles with tremendous professionalism, integrity, and compassion. I believe the city of Rockford and our fire department is better because of the service you've provided all of us. I know the state of Illinois is getting an absolutely wonderful leader. We here in Rockford could not be more proud of the work that you have done and that you will be doing on behalf of the state of Illinois. With that, we want to provide you with a plaque to say thank you and to express our gratitude for your service to the city of Rockford. And also, Chief, I'd like to provide you with a key to the city of Rockford just by saying thank you for the amazing work that you have done throughout your entire career, but also most specifically as chief. You've done an amazing job, and we certainly have the best fire department in the state, and you're a big part of that. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Very unexpected. I'll keep it short because my eyes will start to sweat if I'm too long. It's been a wonderful ride, 32 plus years here. I will miss you all. I'm going to miss my family. Thank you.
So there's no smooth transition to the next item. We're going to go to saying farewell to our fire chief, to saying hello to the 2024 audit presentation for the city of Rockford. So we are so fortunate to have Director Haggerty with us this evening to provide an introduction to that audit presentation. I have, yeah, give me one second.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank you. So I don't think this will be quite as emotionally engaging, but this is Mike Malat from Baker Tilly. This is our first audit with Baker Tilly. If council recalls, we went out for a competitive RFP and made the decision to change auditors and have gone through a really robust process with Baker Tilly this round. They've been great partners so far. And I will hand it over to Mike to kind of talk through some highlights, and then we'll take any questions you all have.
Great, thank you, Carrie, and thank you everybody for your time this evening. I'll keep it nice and brief, and hit some of the high points, kind of what the audit process is, kind of what the end results are, some of the reports you have in front of you, some of the reports that are in process to be issued. Before I get started, I do want to thank Carrie, Patty, and their team for all the efforts they put in through the course of the audit process. The process is a 6-7 month process on top of the day job, and we come in, ask a million questions, have them pull a million things for us, and then we leave, and they have to kind of clean up behind us. So without their professionalism, responsiveness, and really dedicated effort to ensuring we have what we need to do our job, we wouldn't be here today with a final report. So I really want to thank them for all the hard work they put in. And with a first-year audit, it's a lift for sure. So I just want to say thank you to you guys for all the work you put in. So today in front of you, there are several reports that were issued as part of the 2024 audit. I don't really get into numbers specifically. Obviously, we have questions. We'll answer them. But I'm going to go over kind of what I do, what my audit job is as the auditor, and what some of the nice and easy-to-read language and some of the reports we issue mean. So first, for the annual comprehensive financial report, that is the complete record of your financial performance for calendar year 2024 and where you stand financially as of December 31st, 2024. That report, all 200-something pages of that, is your information, your numbers that are being put out to users of financial statements for your purposes, for the public's, for bondholders, for whoever. The information in that report that comes from us as the auditor is the 3 pages called the Independent Auditor's Report. In that is where we say the information that follows can be used and relied upon to reflect the accurate financial position of the city. We issue what's called an unmodified opinion on that report. That is the highest level of assurance we can provide. What that means is we don't look at every dollar. It's not to the penny in terms of what we look at, but we do a diligent amount of work and dive into the numbers, into their processes and systems and controls to be able to say that we're comfortable that the information in there can be used and relied upon to paint an accurate picture of the city's financial health. That is your gold star. You get the unmodified opinion, that means you can use that information. That's not a rubber stamp, as Gary can attest to. We beat them up real good. And to give that opinion means we're very comfortable with that information. As part of that, there are some other elements that are encompassed in that report that we don't audit. So the Met Authority is audited by another firm. We incorporate that information into the report, as well as the Mass Transit District. It's actually audited by Baker Tilly, but a different team. So we do take other information from other auditors, bring that in to paint the full picture. There are a couple changes in this year's report as compared to prior years. So the library is now presented as a component unit. Basically what that means, it moved from being kind of mixed in with all the other funds and operations into its own separate entity kind of outside the primary firm. Long story short, it's governmental accounting fund. It doesn't change anything operationally. It's just how it's presented in the overall picture of the city. Additionally, there were some changes related to just revenue fund accounting stuff in terms of pension contributions from the general fund to the pension funds. Not that anything was necessarily not a matter of contributions not being made, it's just timing of when those have to flow through and show. So there are some changes. They're reflected in that opinion, so I'm calling that out as it is a change from past practice. You'll see it. It's plastered everywhere because we have to plaster it everywhere in that report. Doesn't mean you can't rely on the information in this report. I think that's to make people, we still give that unmodified opinion, but we made those changes to ensure that your starting point reflects where the ending point is, and it's a complete picture from beginning to end of the year. Other than that, I think if there's two areas, or any area in that report you're going to read, because I know there's a lot of nitty-gritty detail in there, reading the transmittal letter and the management discussion and analysis sections, those are basically the big summary sections. One represents more numbers. Here's the big changes during the year, whereas one is more non-financial context of what's happening in the city. Reading those two sections in conjunction with each other really kind of gives you the big bang for your buck on terms of what sections you read. So I do always recommend reading at least those sections of the report if you're not going to dive into the nitty-gritty that follows after that, because it's very detailed. But that really paints a really good picture, both financially and non-financially, of what's going on. So again, I won't get into any of the details of the numbers in there, but again, if you have questions later on, certainly speak to that. In addition to the annual comprehensive financial report, there's a number of other reports and submissions that have to take place in accordance with all the statutes. The first is the Illinois Comptroller's annual financial report, which is basically a distillation of some of the financial information from the financial statements into a prescribed format by the state. That has been submitted and with the state, covered, everything's good to go there. There's also another filing with the Government Accountability and Transparency Unit, which is called the CIPHER is the document. It's another way of kind of chopping up and presenting the information. That is used by other state agencies for their monitoring purposes as they pass state and federal funds to the city. That has been through our final reviews. It will be submitted with an opinion we issue on that. So I'll have a clean opinion on it when we finalize that. And that has a 9-month window versus a 6-month window. In addition, we issued 31 opinions related to your various tax increment financing districts. So every TIF you have that has accumulated over the course of its life over $100,000 in incremental revenue. So none of your new TIFs or anything like that, or ones that haven't generated revenue, that kind of comes on the road. But the ones that are fully active, we have to do a deep dive into them, how their money is spent, and other compliance aspects. On each one of those TIFs, we have to look at individually. So it's a lot. We really go deep into that, and we were able to issue clean opinions for each one of those TIFs in compliance with state statutes. That's fantastic, because it's really easy to mess those up, especially with how many different TIFs you have operating. One other section in the report we will be issuing subsequent to tonight's meeting, in probably the next week or so, hopefully, fingers crossed, is the federal compliance audit, which is the single audit. That's where we look at your federal spending during the year. We looked at 5 programs this year, which is a big bump from historical norms, just how the numbers rolled out. We looked at the CDBG program, your LIHEAP program, your drinking water revolving loan program, the Brownsville Assistance Program, and the Continuum of Care programs. So with all the ARPA funding kind of rolling away, it's basically creating a situation where we're looking at pretty much everything else that's of substantial amounts. So we're looking at that as of right now, I have not finalized my reviews of that, but we don't have any findings of yet. It seems like it will be a clean bill of health, but it is preliminarily in draft phase. So
We have it recorded, so we're...
no, just come back to me later on that. No, that went very smoothly. It's just we're finalizing that. It's kind of the thing that follows after the financial audit's done because of an extended timing when those can be issued. So that kind of covers all the different reports and opinions we issue. All those reports have your numbers, your information, and we just kind of give the opinion that says, yep, you can rely on this. The one final document we do issue that you have in front of you is the one with the pretty pictures, or you used to have pretty pictures, now it's just colorful, is the audit results and insights letter. And what that is a letter from us to you as the governing body. And what that is basically instead of sending you different communications throughout the course of the audit process, we like to pour them into one document. And it covers all the different required communications as part of the audit process we have to do to meet our standards. It includes a lot of fun, exciting things like our audit plan and the risks that exist in some of the things we do, basically communicating to you, here's what we plan to do, here's our responsibilities, did things go according to plan, and were there any big issues we observed. Generally speaking, my statement on that letter is that nothing good ever is in that letter, right? You don't get congratulations for a job well done in that letter. That's what the unmodified opinion on the audit is. This letter is to call anything of issue. So boring is good. And with the exception of us having to communicate something in there related to the changes in the reporting, you have a clean bill of health. And it is a boring letter. It is a lot of, hey, nothing happened bad, which is great. It's exactly what you want. So overall, we did a deep dive into your processes, your controls, how things work. And especially in a first year, we really make sure we've captured everything. As we're getting that fresh set of eyes and the first time, you can kind of know how everything goes around here. We really try to poke holes. And the fact that we, other than some accounting fun in the report, we had no substantial findings to report to you from a control perspective. It means you have a really good, smooth operation going because we're not shy about those comments. So overall, that letter has a lot of things went well, and that's a testament to how things went and how the city's finances are being operated. With that, there's also communication at the back in preparation for next year's audit. And also, I just always like to remind you, while we work with Carrie and Patty and their team for the audit on the day-to-day, ultimately you're the ones who engaged us to complete the audit for the city. So if you have any questions, just want to know something or concerns or anything of that nature, I'm always available. They know how to find me. I cannot escape, even if I wanted to. And I say that in all seriousness. We're always available. So if there's any questions you ever have, I just want you to know, I'm not here just tonight for the meeting. I'm always available for you if you have anything you'd like to discuss. With that concludes my remarks.
Any council members have any questions? Alderwoman Prunty.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I was a little bit distracted. Could you just explain the part again about the library fund and the RMTD portion of it? Or not fund, but portion of it?
Right, so for the library portion, so when we have to look at things, so your financial statements, it's supposed to report, they call it the primary government, the entire reporting entity of the city. So you have this whole big umbrella of the city itself and related entities. And there's standards that govern what goes where in this report. So think about it as kind of chairs on the deck, right? And with the library, as we go through the evaluation due to the nature of it, and this is standard for cities in Illinois. There was a standard about 10 years ago that was passed that changed how certain organizations are presented, basically the rules around where things go. And the way the library is structured with a separate board and some other characteristics, it being reported in the past as a governmental fund, so kind of like next to your general fund and some of your other debt service, something like that, it really belongs as its own separate entity. It's not really in that primary government. I know I'm getting kind of theoretical. Basically, it belongs kind of separate because while it's certainly related and under the purview of the city, it's got enough separation in how it's structured legally and financially and other aspects that it really needs to be separated out, still presented in the report, but its own separate thing. So that's where you have mass transit, the rave, and now the library. Because of how they're structured, they're part of it, but they're a little separate. I guess it's going to... Are they getting their own audit? So they're not required to have their own audit. No, they are not. Now, the other two have historically had their own audits, and there's often legal reasons why or various reasons why they would have their own audit. The library, generally speaking, when we've had this situation which is 90% of Illinois cities we work with, they usually do not have a separate audit because they're not required to. They're still in that overall reporting. We still have disclosures specific to the library. So all the reporting stuff for the library is still captured in the city's report. It's just organized differently.
Thank you. Any other questions? Alderwoman Meeks.
I just wanted to catch, you said there were 2 sections that we should review in the
Yes.
report. Can you repeat those?
So it's the letter of transmittal or transmittal letter and the management's discussion and analysis, or MD&A. So they're both near the front of the report.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions from council? Director Haggerty.
Yeah, I'd just like to take a moment. Patty Rohde, our accounting manager, is in the audience here, and she and her team in the accounting division have done a massive amount of work this year in particular with a new audit firm in place, but every year to make sure that we can account for every dollar that comes in and every dollar that goes out. It's not a simple task in an organization of the size and complexity of the city, but Patty does it very, very well, and I just want to acknowledge her and her team for the hard work that they do.
Thank you, Patty.
Yep, that's it. Certainly, if as you all go home and read this tonight, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me, to Mike Baker Tilly. We'd happy to share contact information with you all and answer any questions that you have. Okay.
Well, thank you both
Thank
so
you.
much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Yeah.
Next, we're going to move to a public hearing that'll be chaired by Alderman Bonney.
Thank you, Mayor. A public hearing is being held tonight pursuant to 65 Illinois compiled statutes 5/11-15.1-3 for the pre-annexation agreement for the following property: 4075 Kilburn Avenue. Notice of this hearing was given by publication in the Rockford Register-Star on June 11th, 2025. That notice informed citizens of Rockford that the Rockford City Council will hold a public hearing on Monday, July 7th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in council chambers on the second floor at Rockford City Hall, 425 East State Street, for the consideration of a proposed pre-annexation agreement for 4075 Kilburn Avenue. Are there any questions or comments from the City Council members regarding this pre-annexation agreement? Seeing none, are there any questions or comments from the public? Seeing none, that concludes the hearing and it is now closed.
All done. All right. We are moving right along. We'll go to petitions and communications. We'll begin with Planning and Development Committee and Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have 3 items. Item 1 is a memorandum from Todd Cagnoni, City Administrator, regarding the proposed funding agreement with International Women's Baseball Center for field and capital improvements at 311 15th Avenue. All items, will be referred to Planning and Development Committee. Item 2 is a memorandum from Anna Garrison, Economic Development Manager, regarding a proposed development agreement with Aetna Building Solutions. And item 3 is a memorandum from Anna Garrison, Economic Development Manager, regarding the adoption of ordinances for the Second Amendment to the River District North TIF District and ordinances for the creation of the Main and Mulberry TIF District.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee and Alderman Bonney.
Thank you. We have 7 items all being referred to the Code and Regulation Committee. Number 1 is a memorandum from Angela Hammer, Legal Director, regarding the review of City Council closed session minutes. Number 2 is a memorandum from Scott Capavilla, Planning and Zoning Manager, regarding the final plat of Remedies subdivision. Number 3 is the Zoning Board of Appeals agenda for the meeting to be held on July 15th, 2025, and minutes from that meeting for consideration at the Code and Regulation Committee meeting on July 28th, 2025. Number 4, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's agenda for the meeting to be held on July 15th, 2025, and minutes from that meeting for consideration at the Code and Regulation Committee meeting on July 28th, 2025. Number 5, memorandum from Martin Bloom, Project Manager, Permits and Special Events, regarding upcoming special events which include Ramp River Run, Tough Mudder Chicago, Labor Day Parade, and Screw City Beer Fest. And number 6, Traffic Commission's agenda for the meeting to be held on July 9th, 2025, and minutes from that meeting for consideration at the Code and Regulation Committee meeting on July 14th, 2025. Number 7, memorandum from Jacob Rubin, Assistant City Attorney, regarding the annexation of 13XX Linda Avenue. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Finance and Personnel Committee and Alderman Frost.
Thank you. All 3 matters will be referred to the Finance and Personnel Committee. Number 1 is the memorandum from Todd Cagnoni, City Administrator, regarding the Coronado lease between Friends of Coronado and the City of Rockford. Number 2 is a memorandum from Todd Cagnoni regarding an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Rockford and the Rockford Area Venue and Entertainment Authority. And number 3 is a memorandum from Anna Garrison, Economic Development Manager, regarding a professional services agreement with Ryan LLC for TIF consultation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Frost. Next, we're going to move to our public speakers. I want to remind our public speakers that there's a microphone on the back left as well as the back right of council chambers. You'll have 3 minutes to address City Council. At the end of your 3 minutes, I'll ask that you close your comments, and we appreciate you being here. Our first public speaker this evening is Prophet Yusuf.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the book of Acts, the 1st chapter, the 8th verse, it says, "You shall receive power when the Holy Ghost come upon you." What I want to speak about tonight, Medicaid cuts will hurt poor people. Medicare and Medicaid were hard-won concession to decades of organizing, not gifts. Stripping them away is a violent act of economic and social warfare, particularly in a country where black people already die younger, suffer longer, and receive less care. These cuts will accelerate deaths from preventable disease, drive elders into unpayable debt, and throw disabled people into crisis. This policy is crafted to hurt poor people. Beyond the meat aid that Medicaid provides, there is a snowball effect of this erosion. Medicaid isn't just a program, it's a lift for a fragile, unequal society. Remove it, and the whole thing collapses. When you defund Medicaid, you accelerate eviction, school dropouts, homelessness, poverty, hunger, untreated trauma, and preventable deaths. Since 2015 to 2024, 230 hospitals have closed in the United States. By cutting Medicaid, more hospitals will be closing in the United States, and more nursing homes, dialysis centers, because they depend on Medicaid to pay them. You also push people into the criminal justice system, where jails become psychiatric holding cells. The snowball turns into the avalanche. Emergency rooms overflow. Community clinics shut down. And black families are left with funerals instead of follow-ups to see a doctor. This is done intentionally, stripping care from poor people and funding public funds into private insurance. Is how capitalism enforces obedience. It's also set up for the rich to get richer and the poor stay poor. My solution? To solve this problem, all followers of Jesus Christ should stand up and speak up and say, we are tired of this crooked government mistreating poor people. We should also unite and put our money together and resource so we can open up our own hospital, especially Rockford Memorial on the west side, because it saved many people's lives in Rockford. I also been want to tell Mr. Denzel, but he ain't here tonight, and my sister-in-law, Miss Irma Mayfree, this for a long time. And I'm going to get it off my chest tonight. I don't like you, I love you. And you can't do nothing about it. And happy birthday, my good friends, and I wish you many more. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to my good friends. Happy birthday to you. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next public speaker this evening is John Tack Brantley.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara and Alderman. And most of all, she's not here right now, but we missed Karen because Karen is always inviting us to different events. Benita Hervey, Linda McNibby, and Ann Thompson, and I was one of the few people who went before that board for Mercy Hospital when they told that big lie. Victory Bell, Maurice West, Lisa Wallace, and a few others got mud in their face because they allowed to get a sucker punch by Mercy Hospital shutting down Rockford Memorial Hospital. They said they was going to put $50 million on the west side of Rockford. That was a big lie. And also, they even said to the board that they was not going to shut it down. I don't know if we can do anything about that now, Mayor, about them shutting it down, but they was dead wrong. I'm going to go on to talk about our young people. Stop running from the police. One of my young moms ran from the police this weekend. Now she in jail. There's a better way to handle this. Follow my example. When you get in trouble, call Brother John. Just like driving while being black, I won my first case in court with the judge. The judge threw it out. I'm going to win my second case in court. And now I want to go to talking about the Nation of Islam. The last time we had a free medical clinic was I'm the last member of the Mandinka Warriors of the Black Panther Party. We was the vanguards. We protected our neighborhood. We had the free medical clinic in our neighborhood. Now I'm proud to be a part of the Nation of Islam, which gave our flyer, is going to have a free clinic every Saturday, and also they got free food on that day. Mind you, we got Project 2025 in the mix. If you look what happened in California, that's just an example of what the ICE is doing. But what I am so proud of is the Haitis. The Haitis stood up when ISIS came into their community, and they beat the hell out of ISIS. I'm not saying they'll be able to do it again, because next time ISIS go into Haiti in New York, they're probably going to go in there with tanks. The same way they did when they came into the Black Panther neighborhood, they came in there with tanks. What is Rockford going to do? Hopefully Rockford is prepared for when ISIS come here. A lot of Hispanics have already told me they're not calling the police. They're not going to work because they're afraid that ISIS is going to arrest them. Also going to the Winnebago County Board because they said they voted against ISIS using the Winnebago County jailhouse, and they're using it as we speak, and that's dead wrong. I want to thank everybody that supported us. We took 66 kids, 27 adults to the Shed Aquarium and to Rainbow Beach, and mind you, 98% of them never been before. So our next project coming up, we're going to Alpine Pool, but we also want to take them to Magic Water. Magic Water's tickets is high, so I'm looking for y'all to help me out. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Our next public speaker is Dr. Sana Siddiqui. Sana Siddiqui.
Good evening, Mayor McNamara and Aldermen. I'm here today to raise awareness about an organization on the west side of Rockford that has been serving the community since 2014. The Islamic Circle of North America, or ICNA, is a national organization, first established in 1968, with the vision of being a grassroots organization of diverse Americans in age, ethnicity, and socioeconomic status that provides institutional support for connecting with one another. The Rockford chapter of ICNA was founded in 2014, and in 2017, we purchased our current building on the west side of Rockford. That building is located at 1110 Arthur Avenue, which is a short walk away from the Auburn Street and Kilburn Avenue bus stop on both the Kilburn and School Street bus routes, and it's in the 7th Ward represented by Alderman Wilkins. We neighbor the Talcott Page Park, and we're a block behind the Dollar General off Auburn Street. Since its inception, ICNA has focused on community outreach to all neighborhoods in Rockford with the goal of providing food, a safe place for people to ask questions about Islam, and referrals to social services, a lot of which we do in-house. Today, I'd like to bring awareness to our clinic. Every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., we host a free medical clinic. Our clinic is staffed by a licensed physician and 2 volunteers. We perform basic medical services such as checking vision, vitals, and blood glucose, and we can write prescriptions for certain medications based on the discretion of the provider. Our physicians offer care with compassion, taking time and listening to patient concerns, and help refer patients when appropriate to additional care. Our clinic is called the Shifa Clinic, which means healing in Arabic. To help fulfill our mission, we believe that healthcare should be accessible to everyone, to new residents of Rockford who might not have any insurance yet, to recently incarcerated individuals who have not reestablished Medicaid since their release, and anyone else who might be uninsured or underinsured. All are welcome to bring themselves and their family to our clinic. In an effort to support our patients and the community, we also offer a free hot lunch served every Saturday from 11 to 1 while the clinic is running. Since it's more difficult for people to get access to a free lunch on the weekends than on the weekdays, we wanted to ensure that anyone who stops by our building can get a warm meal, see our doctor, or engage with any of our other services, such as a food pantry, free clothing, and more. I'd like to close out my comment by mentioning one upcoming initiative we have on July 26th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're hosting a free backpack giveaway for kids getting ready to go back to school this fall. We've given away hundreds of backpacks within the last few years at similar backpack drives, and we want to continue this fun event, which is going to be hosted at our building. We also plan to have food and fun for the family, community organizations ready to connect with our attendees, and even a barber to provide haircuts for kids before the fall semester begins. Please stop by at 1110 Arthur Avenue, which again is just off of Auburn Street and Kilburn Avenue. Thank you so much for your time in allowing me to endorse this organization that has been supporting Rockford residents for over 10 years.
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker this evening is Marva Louise Brown.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marva Louise Brown. I am founder and president of Harkins Community Memorial Foundation. I am here to thank Mayor McNamara for the wonderful proclamation that he gave to Harkins Community Memorial Foundation. In case you don't know about Harkins, Harkins Community Foundation was established in 2003 after I lost my grandson at Fairgrounds Pool. And there was a young girl that died, and it was weeks and weeks before they were able to bury that child. And I decided no family should have to suffer like that. That night I went to sleep. God gave me the vision to start Harkins Community Memorial Foundation. We have since helped over 80, 90 families with burial assistance. Had my grandson lived to be 18 years old, I wanted to further his memory by honoring students who are doing an outstanding job in the community schools and churches, to get them involved, to get them out of the streets, to get them to do things in the community. And it's our Outstanding Youth Award banquet. I want to thank Rockford Community, Rockford Park District, Ponds Funeral Home, Toll Faith Community Church, and other great organizations who have assisted us since we have been started. And again, I want to thank you for allowing me to be here to tell you about Harkins and my wonderful grandson who died at the age of 7 years old, who we miss. I have here my son, Corindus Brown, and the Vice President of Harkins Community Memorial Foundation, Nikki Lynch. Thank you all so much for hope we get your continued support with Harkins. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker this evening is John Lawrence.
Evening to our elected officials and our appointed officials. I do realize that the aldermen did get warning letters on me speaking tonight. I'm going to speak on the water department. $600 bill for the month of March. My normal bill is closer to $41. It went up from, to be honest with you, I don't know what it was in February, but it did go up to $600 for the month of March, and it went right back down to the normal of $41 for the following month. I talked to somebody who had a swimming pool. They told me that they filled their swimming pool and it cost them $89 in addition to the normal bill. You could fill a lot of swimming pools with $600 worth of water. I went to the water department about this after I spoke to somebody that morning that they shut off my water. And I was quite upset to find out about this. And yes, I did probably say a few things that I shouldn't have said, but who wouldn't when they find out that their water bill is 10 times what it should be, more than 10 times what it should be. Like I say, I was upset. I've gone back trying to get this straightened out. Just want a reasonable solution to this. I'm told that the water meters are accurate. It's a mechanical device. They can't break. Come on. Mechanical devices break all the time. Let's get reasonable about this. $600 for 1 month when the normal bill is closer to $40 to $45. Let's get reasonable on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, we'll move. Thank you to all of our public speakers this evening. Next, we'll move to our new committee reports, and we'll begin with Planning and Development Committee and Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 1, committee recommends approval of the funding agreement with Midtown District Association in the amount of $30,000 of TIF funding through the Midtown TIF District to support the 2025 work plan. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Item 2, committee recommends approval of the funding agreement with Miracle Mile Rockford in the amount of $30,000 of TIF funding through the East State and Alpine TIF District to support their 2025 work plan. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance.
Thank you. Council, we have 2 items before us. Any discussion on those 2 items? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Logeman. Aye. Toomberg. Aye. Frost. Aye. Torina. Prunty. Aye. Wilkins. Aye. Hoffman. Aye. Granith. Aye. Beach. Aye. Salgado. Aye. Meeks. Aye. Bell. Aye. Bonnie. Aye. 14 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Code and Regulation Committee and Alderman Bonnie.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 24 items. Number 1, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval for a restriction that will require traffic on Mary Court to yield prior to entering the intersection with Martha Avenue. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 2, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to repeal the one-way street designation on Columbia Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 3, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval for a no parking at any time restriction on the south side of Columbia Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 4, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval for a no parking at any time restriction on the north side of Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the north side of Herbert Avenue from 12th Street to 1/2 block west of 12th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 5, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to repeal the 2-hour parking restriction on the south side of Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 6, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's approval to repeal the one-way designation on Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. Legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 7, committee recommends sustaining the Traffic Commission's recommendation that no action be taken on the request to establish a no parking at any time restriction on the west side of Lucille Street from Clara Avenue to Sylvia Avenue. Number 8, committee recommends approval of the request for an honorary street name change on Johnston Avenue, renaming a portion from West State Street to Jefferson Street, Carl E. Pons Way, in honor of Mr. Carl E. Pons, founder of Pons Funeral Home. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 9, committee recommends approval of the revision to the intergovernmental agreement for environmental services with Rockford Housing Authority. Legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 10, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a pre-annexation agreement with a zoning map amendment from County IL to City I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District, and a special use permit for the installation of a solar farm, freestanding solar panel racks and solar panels for proposed Lot 2, and zoning amendment from County IL to City C3 General Commercial Zoning District for proposed Lot 3 at 4075 Kilburn Avenue. Gambrell Solar LLC for FP Development LLC is the applicant. Subject to conditions, legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 11, committee recommends approval of the pre-annexation of 4075 Kilburn Avenue. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 12, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a special use permit for a mural on the south side building wall in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 602 North Madison Street. Becky Haddad for Mary's Place is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 13, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a zoning map amendment from C1 Limited Office Zoning District to R3 Multifamily Residential Zoning District, and special use permit for a planned unit development for 4 3-units and 3 4-units in an R3 multifamily residential zoning district at 5918 Elaine Drive. Welcome Home Residency Incorporated is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 14, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a variation to reduce the site triangle setback from the required 20 feet to 18 feet in a C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District and C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 7475 East State Street. Smart Signs Incorporated for Machine Shed LLC is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 15, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a special use permit for a planned unit development consisting of 68 single-story duplexes, 60 two-story duplexes, and 52 two-story 4-unit buildings for a total of 180 units in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 6507, 6557, 6597, 65XX, 6640, 6660, 66XX, 6730, 6770, 6783, and 6819 Fincham Drive, 886 and 891 Whitechapel Lane, 6785 Mill Road, and 9XX Highgrove Place. FLVS LLC for AC Johnston William Charles Real Estate LLC is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. 16, committee recommends sustaining the Zoning Board of Appeals approval for a zoning map amendment from C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District to R2 Two-Family Residential Zoning District and special use permit for a planned unit development consisting of 5 two-family structures in an R2 two-family residential zoning district at 4228 Navard Boulevard. Corral Dine LLC applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 17, committee recommends denial of the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a neighborhood deli, market, and grocery store in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 321 7th Street, Mohammed Said Zatar Olivio Deli Market Incorporated, doing business as Olivo Deli Market applicant, thus reversing the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's recommendation for approval. Number 18, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of liquor by the drink, Class NGL, and packaged liquor sales, Class PKG, in conjunction with a restaurant, bar, and outdoor seating area in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 519 East State Street. Paul Slutton, Harvey Wallbangers LLC, doing business as Harvey Wallbangers is the applicant, subject to conditions. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. 19, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of liquor by the drink, Class L50, in conjunction with a bar and grill and video gaming terminals in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 620 Market Street. Tyler Smith, Rue Marché, doing business as the Rue Marché, is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. 20, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of liquor by the drink, Class NGL, in conjunction with the sit-down restaurant in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 6905 East State Street. Doug Banks, Wesley Banks, Tyler Bauscher, Nick Rafanak, Midwest RT, LLC, DBA Rusty Tacos is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number 21, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of packaged liquor, Class PKG, and sale of tobacco products in conjunction with the grocery store in a C3 general commercial zoning district at 3118 North Rockton Avenue. Ritikis Kumar Patel, Suman Market Incorporated, doing business as Low Cost Groceries, is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinances. Number 22, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of packaged liquor, Class PKG, and sale of tobacco products in conjunction with the gas station and convenience store in a C3 general commercial zoning district at 4307, 4311, 4315, 4317, 43XX, 4417, and 44XX Auburn Street. Mahagan Kumar Patel, Cayenne Incorporated, doing business as Gas, is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinances. 23, committee recommends sustaining the Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board's approval for the sale of liquor by the drink, Class L50, in conjunction with the restaurant and video gaming terminals in a C2 limited commercial zoning district at 3130 North Rockton Avenue. Harwinder Kaur, AAG Groceries Incorporated, doing business as Wicked Wings, is the applicant. Subject to conditions, the legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. And 24, 5801 Columbia Parkway, Liquor and Tobacco Advisory Board recommends approval for the modification of an existing liquor license for 40% stock transfer in a C3 general commercial zoning district at 5108 Columbia Parkway. Diego Cervantes Guzman, Luis Montez, Santos Oslot, ROSV LLC, Harrison Marketplace LLC, doing business as Maciano's Pizza and Pastaria, are the applicants.
Would anyone like Alderman Bonney to repeat those? All right, we got 24 items before us. Any discussion on those 24 items? Alderman Salgado.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to move to, for item 17, for the deli market. I'd like to make a motion. I would like to move to reverse the committee report for the sale of the tobacco products in conjunction with the neighborhood deli market and grocery store in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 321 7th Street from a recommendation of denial to approval, subject to the following conditions of approval as recommended by the Liquor Tobacco Advisory Board. And I'll read these. There's, I believe, 10 of them, 12 actually. The first one, meet all applicable building and fire codes. 2, compliance with the City of Rockford of ordinance, including tobacco codes. 3, submittal of revised interior floor plan that shows the location of the tobacco products for sale for staff's review and approval. The sale of tobacco products shall be limited to the location as shown on the revised interior floor plan. 5, window display signage is limited to 20% of the window area. 6, the window shall not be covered with bars and other devices that block the windows. 7, the sale of rose tubes, airplane-sized bottles, 50 milligrams, 1.7 ounces or less, or any other products that can be deemed to be easily manufactured into drug paraphernalia is prohibited. Number 8, the sale of water pipes and hookah or hookah pipes are prohibited. Number 9, hours of operation would be Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Number 10, any pending general ordinance cases must be resolved prior to the issuance of the license. Number 11, all outstanding general ordinances fines must be paid prior to the issuance of the license. Number 12, all conditions must be met prior to the issuance of the license and establishment of the use. And I so move on that.
Thank you. We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. We have a motion. We have a second. Just so I can understand your motion, you're just simply making it from a denial to an approval so that those who vote yes know that they're voting yes in favor of it. Those who vote no know that they're voting not in favor of it.
Correct.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion on that motion and only that motion? All those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. Ayes have it. So that has been...
No.
Okay. Alderman Bell and Alderwoman Torino were the noes on that. That number 17 has been amended to be in the affirmative as an approval. Any other questions on the 24 items before us? Alderman Durkee.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would request a 30-day layover for item 15.
We have a motion to request a 30-day layover on item...
second.
We have a motion to request a 30-day layover on item 15. We have a second. Is there any discussion on that item? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, item 15 is laid over. Now we have 23 items before us. Is there any discussion on the 23 items that are before us and item 17 being amended? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee.
Aye.
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Hoffman. Granith. Beach. Delgado.
Aye on all of them.
Meeks. Aye. Bell.
No on 17, aye on the rest.
Bonnie.
Aye.
Items 1 through 9, 14 ayes. Item 10 and 11, 13 ayes, 1 no. Item 12, 14 ayes. Item 13, 13 ayes, 1 no. Item 14, 15 was laid over. 16, 14 ayes. Item 17 is 12 ayes, 2 noes. Item 18, 19, 13 ayes, 1 no. Item 20, 14 ayes. Items 21, 22, 13 ayes, 1 no. Item 23 is 12 ayes, 2 noes. And 24?
Thank you. Thank you, Clerk. Alderman Bell?
I missed one, I apologize. No on 21 for me, if that is
Without
okay
any
with
objection,
council.
Alderman Bell is voting no on, what was that number?
21.
21. Is there any objection? Okay.
That new vote is 12 ayes, 2 noes.
Thank you. Next, we are going to go to Finance and Personnel Committee and Alderman Frost.
Number one, the committee recommends approval of vouchers in the amount of $8,673,695.84 as approved at the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting held on June 23, 2025. Number two, the committee recommends approval of the retention of the 1% grocery tax to be implemented by local ordinance. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number three, the committee recommends approval of the request for funding in the amount of $23,168.14 pursuant to the 2020 amended and restated intergovernmental cooperation agreement for assessment complaint intervention. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. Number four, the committee recommends approval for the addition of city-owned property located at 319 Heath Street to the city's Mo-to-Own program. The legal director shall prepare the appropriate ordinance. And number five is a request to purchase for the Head Start classroom materials from Discount School Supply in the amount of $94,999.44. I place the funding source of the Head Start grant. I place these 5 matters before you.
Thank you. Council, we have 5 items before us. Is there any discussion on those 5 items? Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Durkee.
Aye.
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Hoffman. Granith. Beach. Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Bonnie. 14 ayes.
Next, we will move to officers' reports. Is there any council members with a report? Alderwoman Hoffman.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to say that tomorrow night at 6:30, Broadway Covenant Church, we will again be having a Rolling Green meeting. And 2 of the subjects are, one, we have a neighbor who has been very successful with eliminating dirt bike riders in our neighborhood, and she wants to talk to other people and show them how it can be done. I understand there's actually a reward when you help get rid of some of these dirt bikes. And then we have, I believe Jeremy Carter is coming to talk about the South Alpine Road Improvement Project, because there's going to be meetings going on, and this is an amazing project, and we want everybody to have their voice heard. Thank you.
Thank you. Other reports? Alderwoman Torina, did you have your hand up?
It's been a couple weeks since Ironman, since we had it off, but I definitely wanted to just make mention of just the excellence of Ironman. I just wanted to publicly thank anyone that touched it, from our volunteers, our entire community, everyone that was behind the scenes working on this project for, I believe it was 2 years, more than actually 1. Just an amazing display of what Rockford is. The way that we welcomed our guests into the city, we really showed that we're a classy town when we want to be. So it was really excellent to be a part of it firsthand, to as a volunteer, but just to be down there as a spectator. It just was really, really inspiring. And I just want, again, to thank everyone that touched this project. It was really, really well done. And we really should be very, very proud of ourselves. I have a friend that lives in Africa that saw it on my website. He was like, that was in Rockford? Like, that's something that I follow around the world. So we're being noticed on a global stage as a result. So we really, really should be proud of it. I also just want to acknowledge Chief Pankow. You're just wonderful, and I just want to congratulate you. And I just wish you all the best. I really do. I know, being a woman in leadership, that people don't realize all that you have to go through. So just know that I know what you have to go through. And I just appreciate you and respect you. And I'm just excited that our state gets to have a taste of your wisdom and the things that you're going to bring. So I just want to congratulate you and thank you for all that you've done for our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Prunty, did you have your hand raised?
Yes, thank you. Ditto, Chief. You will be missed. Thank you for your service. Want to welcome back Karen. Good to see you. Excuse me, the 8th Ward Alderwoman. Alderwoman Hoffman, welcome back. Good to see you in good health. So, Just wanted to also, I want to extend a sincere thank you to our Code Enforcement Department for doing a lot of the heavy lifting over the past several weeks in the 6th Ward. Your efforts to identify and address properties with high grass, debris, and illegal dumping have not gone unnoticed. I truly appreciate the extra attention you've given to the 6th Ward and the follow-through on these issues that matter deeply to 6th Ward residents. I also want to encourage residents, 6th Ward residents, to keep reporting these violations. Your eyes and voices help us stay on top of these concerns. And to those who are dumping or neglecting your property, please stop. It's unfair to your neighbors and disrespectful to the communities you're harming. To the repeat offenders who continue to let their grass grow high year after year, especially near sidewalks and pedestrian areas, this is more than an eyesore. It's a public safety hazard and contributes to neighborhood blight. I challenge both code enforcement and the legal departments to work together to explore additional tools and strategies to encourage faster, more consistent compliance, whether it means new penalties, earlier interventions, or creative policy solutions. Let's find ways to make this less convenient to delay mowing or dumping illegally, and more rewarding to maintain clean and safe properties. Just want you all to know that I've reached out to Administrator Cagnoni a couple of times this week because I've had calls from constituents who are calling. Some have been in tears. Others are talking about taking matters into their own hands, be it taking risks and doing something that could be illegal, as well as even thinking about cutting people's property or cleaning people's property and taking on that expense. I just really hope that we will do something and can do something impactful that will encourage people to clean up and stay cleaned up and stay in compliance, because year after year I think it does become frustrating for people, and we need to do what we can to make this better for our community and to make sure that these repeat offenders get the job done sooner so that we can have safe neighborhoods. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other reports? Alderman Beach.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just to say thank you again to the 4th of July Committee. Fireworks were spectacular this year. Those that like fireworks, those that like loud fireworks. Mm-hmm. But for Tom Lupus and Ted O'Donnell and all of the staff that put that thing together again for our community, another plus for Rockford. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Alderman Thunberg.
Thank you, Mayor. To piggyback on the Fifth Ward Alderwoman's comments, the Ironman, terrific. I'd like to extend another thank you to all those in the Churchill's Grove neighborhood who came out and really supported a lot of those athletes. I firsthand heard from many of them as they ran by. I know the millions around the world that watch us every Monday night council meetings. The one that I accidentally hit right in the with that stream of water right in her ear. I apologize for that. Had bad aim on that one. But I'd like to thank our Public Works Department. Speaking of the Churchill's Grove neighborhood, we have had a multitude of water breaks in the past 7 days. Some of you may have been inconvenienced driving through there. But thank you to Public Works on getting on those right away. And the Director of Public Works, our very own Scott Sanders, thank you for some work done on First Street, on your hands-on work on that as well. And that, of course, that's not in the Church Hills Grove neighborhood, of course. But another thing I noticed with the presentation tonight from the audit is when I was scaling through there, is that in 2014, UPS was the 10th highest employer as far as number of employees in Rockford, and now 2024 it's 5th. Collins Aerospace and Woodward Governor and Amazon were not even on there listed as a top 10 employer in 2014. And I like to say now that Collins Aerospace is 6th, Woodward Governor is 7th, Amazon is 8th. And the reason I mention that is just it really is a testament to our city and administration and council in helping in any way we can to encourage and these businesses to continue to employ more people. And so to see that where they weren't even on the list 10 years ago, and now those private companies, not a knock to government and our employees here, but far from that, but it's encouraging to see the private sector within our community continue to grow. So thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Bonnie, did you have your hand? And then Alderman Bell? Oh, I'm sorry. Alderman Bell.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to thank Jeremy Carter. I don't think he's here today, but would like to thank Jeremy Carter for assisting with the Carl E. Pons Way honorary street sign. I hope to see that go through on this evening. Would also like to thank Director Sanders for taking a tour through the 13th Ward with me. Be remiss if I didn't shout out his jump shot. He was playing basketball with the kids at the Boys and Girls Club where my office is, and prior to our meeting, he took a step back three and made it. So just want to say thank you again for addressing some of the issues in the 13th Ward, and also just being a cool guy to the kids at the Boys and Girls Club. They really appreciated that. Across the street, and Miss Marva Brown talked about Harkins Pool today during public comment, but this Saturday on July 12th at the Harkins Aquatic Center at 910 Acorn Street, there's a free event for children ages 5 to 16, hosted by the ladies of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority, as well as the Forest City chapter of Jack and Jill of America, who my stepmother actually is a founding member, is presenting the 3rd annual Swim 1922 in JJ Swim's Water Safety Clinic at the same pool, as you heard this earlier this evening, where there has been a tragic drowning previously. And so in honor again of the Harkins family, they're hosting this event, this water safety clinic. And this year's clinic will feature a special guest appearance by 2024 Olympic silver medalist. So you don't want to miss that. I'd encourage anyone to share this. I'll be posting it on my Facebook and social medias, and would hope that you all, if you have children or know of any, come on out to the 13th Ward and have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want you also to know, Alderman Bell, there a lot of debate at department head meeting this morning and last week. I bet the over-under that was over 10 tries for that video of Director Sanders to make that shot, but I just have that out there. With that being said, Alderman Bonnie.
Thank you, Mayor. I actually wanted to thank you for your attempts to resolve the runaway number of complaints we've been getting about our delays in our fiber optic cable installation. Back in May, you sent the council a very thorough email detailing conversations you had with Sci-Fi and with their subcontractor, Always Underground. And that explained some of the reasons for the delays and that they were going to make a concerted effort to, I believe, hire more staff and be caught up by, and that email was May 7th, and be caught up by June 12th. But, you know, I think some of us have been dealing with this for longer, depending on where and I know, I think the 14th Ward is kind of late in the game, so I know some aldermen have been dealing with complaints about this for far longer. I don't think the installation reached the 14th Ward until very late last year. But I have to say that the number of complaints I'm receiving is as high or growing since they were supposedly going to be caught up. And I forwarded 8 of them over yesterday to staff. Fortunately, you know, staff, I know in at least one case, contacted Sci-Fi, which contacted the resident and is talking about making some sort of interim restoration of their lawn until a permanent restoration takes place. But I'm sorry, but this is just really shameful. This company's been doing this for, I don't even remember when they started, but it was, I believe this is the third construction season we've been dealing with it. And, you know, I don't know if another meeting would do any good, but I just feel like the need to express publicly that, you know, I mean, great that we're going to have more competition for internet, but I'd be skeptical about signing up for their $55 offer based on this kind of customer service. And I think we're very fortunate. You know, it's both the slowness in completing the installation, but I think even more so it's the, you know, manhandling of everybody's yard to get the job done, and the, you know, lack of explanation, lack of any kind of attempt to make the customer feel confident that their lawn is going to get restored. And many people, of course, are, myself included, doing it themselves. And I just want to share one email or text message that I received this morning. It's from Luke Vitera, who lives on Village Court in the 14th Ward. Dear Alderman Bonney, I'm writing to you as my representative in the 14th Ward. I'm concerned over the recent fiber optics installation in my neighborhood. On May 6th of this year, a crew was in my neighborhood. They dug up multiple holes in my yard and everyone else's. I have pictures of this. I'm sure we've all gotten many of these photos. It's been over 2 months and the holes remain. Unsightly patches filled with gravel. Grass does not grow in gravel. Nothing grows in gravel. I've tried reaching out to the company. They've been less than helpful. I've lived here for over 25 years. I'm proud of my home, and I do my very best to keep it looking presentable, both inside and out. I'm also proud of Rockford. I spent over 24 years on the Rockford Fire Department serving our community. It's frustrating for me when I do my best to uphold a certain standard and then see the city lower that standard right in my front yard. The holes are unsightly, and there are literally hundreds of them all over the neighborhood and thousands throughout the city. Is there a plan to fix this? If so, what does that plan look like? Thank you for your time and commitment to the city of Rockford. And I just think it's a shame that we're receiving complaints like that, and that we're lucky to have people who care about the curb appeal of their properties. And I don't have an answer for it, but I just, other than to call out these two companies. Thank you.
Thank you. We certainly have been frustrated. I'm going to ask Director Sanders to provide some input on that. Director.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Thank you, Alderman Bonney, for giving public voice tonight to something that I'm sure everyone, based on text and emails and phone calls I get, something that I think everyone sitting around you endorses and shares that opinion. And it's helpful to have it said from that dais. We're 2 years into, I believe, to my understanding, about 2 years, maybe it's a little more, maybe we're into our third year of this 4-year initiative that is noble, right, in its effort. It is going to bring fiber to the entire community, regardless of demographic. I think we're about 50% done. I've got numbers today that just the sheer scale of it is surprising. 3.2 million feet, more than 3.2 million feet of conduit and fiber has been put in the ground so far, but that's of 6.5 million that will involve the entirety of the project, and over 10,000 homes served or have the availability to hook up right now. So there's admirable qualities to this pursuit. There have been over 60 individual permits, and each one of those permits is for a cluster of properties. But 60 permits issued to the combination of Sci-Fi and AUI to do this work. And it is a partnership. It's a public-private partnership with the city, but there's times when partners need to acknowledge when issues have arisen. And mobilization and work of this scale, it comes with challenges, but they have been revealed prominently through failed restoration. And the holes that were referenced in that are ancillary to that. They're part of that process. Those holes are the way by which they investigate the presence of other utilities. They call that potholing. So they will use a vac truck and they'll suck out a little hole through the dirt to find out where, say, a Nicor gas service is coming in. And those are not adequately or sufficiently repaired. And I had a picture, last summer I had a picture of my son knee-deep in one of those holes in our front yard, so I'm aware of that issue as well. 60 permits have been issued. What I think is telling is that only 4 have been closed. That means only 4 of them have we, as a city, said, yep, it's done. You've restored that. And it's something that we collectively take seriously. The city takes it seriously. The department, the elected officials take it seriously. I personally, from my design background, take it seriously. And so meetings have been held and promises have been made, and we need to take it to another step from there now. And without going into specifics and still vetting specifics, and you'll be probably playing a role in approving some of those specifics. I can tell you variables that we are looking at would involve slowing the issuance of any further permits. We've gotten into a kind of issue one when one is closed, but with 50-some open, that just leaves, trading one for one leaves far too much uncompleted work. Someone, the text mentioned gravel. We have become aware of and are being more sensitive to the appropriateness of the material, the seed of the seeding medium and the seed prep that occurs. There's no point in going through these restoration efforts if we're just putting it into unsuitable soils or not properly raking them out, and if we're just covering that with fiber blanket when we're not fiber, it's fiber blanket, but no pun intended, the fiber mulch blanket when we're done. And we're looking at better delineating the start time of the window for restoration, because these projects are ongoing, and our ordinance sort of vaguely speaks to restoration occurring at the conclusion of active construction. But for some of these processes, you might have the conduit directionally bored, and then it sits and waits, maybe for months. And then someone comes and puts the handhole. Another branch of a company comes and puts in the handhole connections, and then it sits and waits, maybe for a couple months. And finally, the fiber is pulled, and that's when the applicant would say we've concluded our active work and restoration starts. And that leaves it disturbed for far too long. So I think that we collectively as a department are going to be better about identifying periodic completions through those different stages. And certainly upon installation of the handhole boxes, demanding that kick off what is really, by ordinance, a fairly tight window of just a couple weeks after which restoration is supposed to be completed. So
Thank you.
We're aware of it. We're not pleased with the outcomes we're getting, and we will work to achieve a better outcome.
Thank you. Alderman Beach.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of questions, just to follow up to this discussion. Are we required by law to issue permits going forward to any of these companies? Because I asked that question because if they're not able to give us performance bonds or something so that at a certain time, if these things aren't corrected, that we can correct it and bill against them. I mean, we do that kind of thing when we do the neighborhood standards on the grass. They don't cut it, we cut it. We bill it. Someday down the road we get paid. But I don't understand how they're allowed to just do this and get away with it and create all the tension with the people. And I mean, I'm not trying to stir this up, but good grief, the people call us and write letters, and we don't know what to tell them. And the people that are helping the city, they're probably frustrated too. They don't know what to tell them. They try the best they can. And it's one thing to have it done on the terrace. It's another thing when they go in their yard. And so I just want to ask the question, are we obligated by law to issue permits to these companies?
Thank you. Mr. Cagnoni?
Thank you, Mayor. To sort of separate the discussion a little bit, we started talking about Sci-Fi, which we have a development agreement with Sci-Fi to install fiber across the entire city. We went into that development agreement to ensure that fiber went across to every home and every business, and that we didn't leave out certain parts of our city. There are other companies that are also installing fiber within the city of Rockford, and they are cherry picking areas in which to install fiber and excluding other areas of our community. Many of those we are required to issue them right-of-way permit under the Illinois statute because they were previously existing and operating within the state of Illinois when the legislation was adopted. So in short, to your answer, we are required to issue permits for many of the fiber installations that are being either have been put or are being put in the city of Rockford. As it relates to Sci-Fi, they weren't previously established, and we did a development agreement that required it to be installed across the entire city. And when Director Sanders talks about additional steps, that's the steps that him and his team are looking at as it relates to making sure they're performing in regards to development agreement. Because what might be efficient for business installation is not meeting our community standard for restoration. So we need to get that aligned.
Thank you.
Do we or should we or can we require performance bonds then with these new companies?
I believe we already have them.
We have.
There is surety required as part of the work within the right-of-way permit.
So have we then drawn on those for properties are not put back in shape?
Mr. Cagnoni?
We have not at this time, no.
Well, I guess I understand why you wouldn't want to, but on the other hand, there's a lot of people out in Rockford that are upset. And when you get an email, and we've all got them, I'd imagine, if someone is willing to write, there's probably 35 or 40 or 50 that would have write but are afraid to, or to call or not to call. So I wouldn't want to have your job try to take all these calls, but I think we really have to come down harder than we are. And if we have performance bonds, I think we need to put it in their face and say, if you don't get it done by this date, we're going to do it and you're paying it, period. We've got to take care of our people. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Alderman Bond?
Thank you. The questions that Alderman Beach is asking just kind of sparked a question in my mind. I've only received complaints about Sci-Fi and Always Underground. Are we not receiving any significant number of complaints from those companies that are doing the cherry picking?
So I can answer some of that, and correct me if I'm wrong. No, we're getting a lot of complaints on them as well. And that's why getting the addresses and the information from all the aldermen is so incredibly helpful, because it hasn't always been the company that the resident thinks it is. Because, you know, Company A will come in and do work, not restore it, then Company B will be right behind them. And so they'll only see Company B, but Company A didn't restore it. So there has been a lot of confusion with that and the number of companies that are in town doing it.
Versus that no one wants to cherry pick in 14, is that?
I'm not saying it.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Other reports. Alderman Frost.
I just want to take a moment also, and not to be redundant, but to thank our Chief Pankow for not just being chief, but I've gotten to know her over the years and knew her when she wasn't chief and was a hardworking, diligent member of the Rockford Fire Department, wearing many hats. So we wish you the best of luck, and don't forget where you came from, and hopefully you can still continue to live in Rockford.
I thought you were going to say make sure we get all of our elevators approved or something like.
And then I just noticed tonight that it's the first time in a long time looking around here that everybody's here. And we had, we've had, I know I'm going to violate the rules, but we've had Alderman Logeman that was not with us for an extended amount of time, helping serve our nation. And then we've had, I guess Alderman Hoffman isn't sitting here right now.
She heard you were coming up to
Where did she go? But I just wanted to welcome her and Alderman Beach back, who had some health reasons why they couldn't join us for a while, and it's nice to see everybody healthy and back. And on that note, I guess it's nice to see all of us here getting along and being professional and hopefully having some camaraderie. So, again, not using names, but Alderman Thunberg suggested that perhaps we all go get a drink, and he's going to pay for it. And so I think we should take him up on that. And if either if we're able to get together tonight or maybe in a week before summer, if some people can't make it, but it would be nice to have a kind of an impromptu, or if we have to abide by Mr. Cagnoni's rules and put it on the agenda, then we can do so, and maybe I'll get together for a little bit of summer fun. So thank you.
Fun killer.
He always is.
Okay, thank you. Other reports. Seeing no other reports, we'll move forward. All the appointments are laid over till after July 16th. Then we will go to motions and resolutions, and we will go to Planning and Development Committee. Alderwoman Wilkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item 1, committee recommends approval of the City of Rockford Residential Anti-Displacement and Relocation Assistance Plan. Item 2, committee recommends approval of the policy to establish a citywide framework to reduce food insecurity in Rockford by designated funding and improving access to healthy, affordable, and culturally appropriate food.
Thank you. Council, we have 2 items before us. Is there any discussion on those 2 items? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Aye. Logeman. Aye. Thunberg. Aye. Frost. Aye. Torina. Prunty. Aye. Wilkins. Aye. Hoffman. Aye. Granith. Aye. Beach.
One second, Alderman Beach. I don't know if that is possible. Director Hammer?
Once the roll call starts for voting, it's not proper to take any questions.
Thank you.
Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Bonnie. Item number 1, 14 ayes. Item number 2, 13 ayes, 1 no.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee and Alderman Bonnie.
Thank you, Mayor. We have 1 item. Committee recommends denial of the request for authorization to allow the zoning officer to file a text amendment to remove the special use permit option for residential storage warehouse in C3 and C4 zoning districts. This was laid over from June 16th, 2025.
Thank you. Council, we have 1 item before us. Is there any discussion on that 1 item? Alderman Frost.
Just for clarification, it's still a yes vote is to deny it, correct? or was there a motion made?
I didn't hear the motion. Did I miss it, Alderman Bonnie?
No, I would like to make that motion, though. Motion to amend this denial to approval for the same reason we did for the item that Alderman Salgado requested, to just avoid confusion in voting.
So we have a motion to switch it from a denial to an approval. Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion on just the motion to change that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? One no. Okay, and two noes. Okay, so now it's a committee, the committee recommends approval. So a yes vote is a yes and a no vote is a no. Is there any discussion on the one item before us? Alderman Logan.
Just procedurally, if I could ask to the city legal director, what's the purpose of committees? If we continue, we continue to do this, and I guess no harm, no foul. But it seems like we're kind of circumventing the committee's decision overall, which again is fine, but it just begs the question of kind of what is the purpose of the committee then?
Director Hammer.
Thank you, Mayor. Just keep in mind that the vote would still be reflective of the intent of council as to whether it's supported or not, based on whether it's an approval or a denial. But I understand your point, but I think for ease of voting and convenience factors, that's why it's being considered. There are some jurisdictions that only allow affirmative motions, and so that's something that we could consider moving forward if it was the will of the council to do so.
Okay, thank you.
So we have one item before us. Any discussion? Alderman Bonnie?
I don't disagree with that. I think, the committee denies something, it moves to council anyhow. The only difference is that if there's an ordinance required, the ordinance doesn't come simultaneously. It comes 2 weeks later, which I think is confusing for the public. When is the vote actual? When we approve the committee report or approve the ordinance? It's the ordinance. But and then we do this. I'm doing it to avoid the confusion because it's the practice that we seem to do all the time, although personally I don't think we should bother, but I just don't want to risk confusion on this vote since we just did it on the last one.
Thank you. Any other discussion on the one item before us? Clerk, Alderman Bell.
I don't know who to point to for this one. Maybe Administrator Cagnoni. Can you, remind me, this vote is to send the recommendation over to ZBA, correct? This is not to finalize the text amendment.
Mr. Cagnoni?
Thank you, Henry. That would be correct. This authorizes the zoning officer to file the text amendment application. It will then be scheduled to an upcoming zoning board of appeals meeting, come back to codes and regs, and ultimately city council for a final decision.
For approval or denial?
That is correct.
Okay.
Any other follow-up, Alderman Bell?
He can go. I'll probably go again.
Alderman Bonnie?
Go ahead. So just to clarify then, a yes vote is now to have the zoning officer send this to ZBA to come back to council.
Correct.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion on the one item before us?
Sure.
Alderman Bell?
I'd like to really quick acknowledge Alderman in the 14th Ward for his advocacy on this topic. Since being sworn in, I think I've heard about this every single week. For that reason, to learn from, I think, and we appoint subject matter experts to a committee to hear more. I will be attending the ZBA meeting if this goes through. So I'll be in support of this going to ZBA today so that we can have, for myself at least, to have more of a clarification on this topic.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion on the one item before us? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Logeman. Toomberg. Frost. Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Hoffman. Granith. Beach. Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Bonnie. 8 ayes, 6 noes.
Excellent, thank you. Next, we're going to go to Finance and Personnel Committee and Alderman Frost.
Thank you. Number one, the committee recommends approval and award of an RFP for the Head Start Transportation Services to first student in the amount of $546,760. It is a one-year contract with 2 possible one-year extension options pending funding. Annual price adjustments for CPI will be considered contract renewal only, and the funding source is the Head Start grant. Number two, the committee recommends approval of award of joint purchase contracts for citywide heavy-duty fleet purchases to Lakeside International and Bird Camp in amount of $1,285,167. This is a one-time purchase. The funding sources are the Capital Lease Fund, Street Division, and Water Fund capital budgets. Number three, committee recommends approval of award of joint purchase contract for cellular services to T-Mobile in an estimated annual amount of $500,000. It's a one-year contract with 4 possible one-year extensions. The funding source are various departmental operating budgets. Number four, committee recommends approval of award of non-competitive contract for city yards lighting retrofit to BP contractors at no cost to the city. The contract is through December 31, 2025. The funding source is actually the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. Number five, the committee recommends approval of a change order for firewall replacement upgrades to Sayers Technology. The original contract was $234,500. The change order is $51,821. This includes support of newly added equipment that has been deployed within the city's network environment. The funding source is the Information Technology Fund operating budget. Number six, the committee recommends approval of an engineering agreement for the 9th Street two-way conversion Phase 2 to Trans Systems, the amount of $1,994,350. The contract duration is through 2026. The funding source is the motor fuel tax funds. Number seven, the committee recommends approval of a resolution authorizing payment to Alignment Rockford in the amount of $25,000 in support of public school strategies. Number eight, the committee recommends approval of the extension of the IDA Strong Communities Program Round 2 grant to November 14, 2026, and acceptance of an additional $76,000 in IDA grant funds. This grant does not require a cost match. The funds will be used to cover the costs associated with the demolition of substandard residential properties. And number nine, the committee recommends approval and acceptance of the IDHS Homeless Prevention Grant Award in the amount of $1,110,414. This grant also does not require a cost match. The grant term is from July 1, 2025 through July 30, 2026. I place these 9 matters before you.
Thank you, Alderman. Council, we have 9 items before us. Any discussion on those 9 items? Clerk, please call the roll.
Durkee. Logeman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed a question. Did I miss a question? Alderwoman Torina.
Thank you, sorry. Number 7, can we just get an explanation of why we are wanting to support this? I thought this program was like something that was funded by the school system.
School district provides $125,000 to it. It also gets about $600,000 in grants and other sponsorships, including Swedish American and Associated Bank, I believe, are their 2 largest corporate donors to it. We then serve on, by putting money towards this, we serve on their board and support their efforts from early childhood education and health and wellness of young people. They've just did a partnership with, I'm going to miss a lot of partners, many of the health systems, Winnebago County Health Department, for putting a nurse at every single household that has a baby within Winnebago County. That's one of their programs that they've done among a number of others. But if any other staff member wants to provide input, you can.
I think you covered it well, Mayor.
Okay. That those are good programs. For me, I'm probably not going to be supporting this just because with all that's happening in our country right now, I don't know what the state of our particular programs are around children, and I'd rather see this type of money going towards Head Start. So for that reason, I'm not going to be supporting this one, but thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Meeks, did you have your hand raised?
Thank you so much. I was just wondering, how does Alignment Rockford work with the city of Rockford and our departments directly?
Good question. Thank you. I don't know how much direct involvement they have with our city departments. I know, I have the opportunity to attend their board meetings, and it provides an opportunity to be there with Rockford Public Schools, Rockford University, the main health systems, and other business leaders throughout the community, including some of those that I've mentioned and some not. Everyone from technology businesses to manufacturing businesses, but direct involvement with departments, I'm not aware of that, like, direct partnership involvement.
So I guess maybe the question I want to ask is directed to the Department of Health and Human Services that runs the Head Start program. Does Alignment Rockford have any direct connection to any programming under Head Start?
Director Parham?
No. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to ask the question. I don't want to make it seem like I am not an advocate for our students and the hard work that Alignment Rockford does. I actually very much agree with the Fifth Ward Alderman with regards to us not knowing what is coming for our funding for this city and the departments that we have under our city. And so I'm just a little reluctant right now, and it is a small amount of money, which makes me know that this organization that was created under the Rockford Public School District, since they are doing, or at least created to support the Rockford Public School District, and so we can all agree that that is the intention. I'm not quite sure what this very small amount of funding is intended to do. And I know what Alignment Rockford does, but I just don't want to get into the precedence of continuing to fund. And I do understand we have funded this organization in the past.
Yes, we have.
At the level of $10,000. So now we're increasing it to $15,000.
Yeah, and truthfully, in past years, well over the $25,000 level. Like
to
when
this particular organization?
Yeah, to Alignment Rockford. So when, in recent years, yes, 10,000, and then 4 or 5 years ago it was 25, and I think at one point it was 50 or 75,000. So yes, it's an increase from the most recent years, but it's certainly a pretty dramatic cut from what it once was.
Okay, I guess I didn't. Do you recall where that funding came from?
General fund.
Okay. Well, I don't have any other questions. I think I'm just against, spending this funding for this particular organization right this time. Thank you.
Alderman Bell.
Sure. As we're on the discussion for allocating funding to programs and initiatives under our city umbrella, would like to also make mention of the Community Healing Center and the folks that work out of the 13th Ward Irving Stronghouse. Would love to see some of this funding or other pull from other streams to help and increase or really support to make that program or initiative sustainable, given the potential outcomes of the lack of funding provided to that initiative.
It's a fantastic initiative that we are very proud of, for sure. Any other questions? Sorry about missing those. Clerk, any other questions? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Logeman. Toomberg. Frost. Torina. Prunty. Wilkins. Hoffman. Granith. Beach. Salgado. Meeks.
No, 7, aye on the rest.
Bell.
Aye.
Bonnie.
Aye.
Items 1 through 5, 14 ayes. Item number 6, 13 ayes, 1 no. Items 7, 12 ayes, 2 noes. Items 8 and 9, 14 ayes.
Excellent, thank you. Next, we're going to go to new business ordinances. We'll go to Planning and Development, and Alderwoman Wilkins.
Item 1 is an ordinance approving, am I on the right page? Okay. Item 1 is an ordinance approving a funding agreement with Midtown District Association in the amount of $30,000 of TIF funding through the Midtown TIF District to support their 2025 work plan. Item 2 is an ordinance approving a funding agreement with Miracle Mile Rockford in the amount of $30,000 of TIF funding through the East State and Alpine TIF District to support the 2025 work plan.
Thank you. Council, we have 2 items before us. Any discussion on those 2 items? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee.
Aye.
Logeman.
Aye.
Toomberg.
Aye.
Frost.
Aye.
Torina. Prunty. Wilkins.
Aye.
Hoffman. Granith. Beach. Salgado. Meeks. Bell. Bonnie. 14 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we'll go to Code and Regulation Committee, and Alderman Bonnie.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 1 is an ordinance approving a restriction that will require traffic on Mary Court to yield prior to entering the intersection with Martha Avenue. Number 2, an ordinance repealing the one-way street designation on Columbia Avenue from 11th to 12th Street. Number 3, an ordinance approving a no parking at any time restriction on the south side of Columbia Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. 4, an ordinance approving a no parking at any time restriction on the north side of Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street, thus repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the north side of Herbert Avenue from 12th Street to a half block west of 12th Street. 5, an ordinance repealing the 2-hour parking restriction on the south side of Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. 6, an ordinance repealing the one-way street designation on Herbert Avenue from 11th Street to 12th Street. 7, an ordinance approving an honorary street name change on Johnston Avenue, renaming a portion of West State Street to Jefferson Street, Carl E. Pons Way, in honor of Mr. Carl E. Pons. 8, an ordinance approving the revision of the intergovernmental agreement for environmental services with the Rockford Housing Authority. 9, an ordinance approving the pre-annexation agreement with the zoning map amendment from County IL to City I-1 Light Industrial Zoning District, a special use permit for the installation of a solar farm, freestanding solar panel racks and solar panels for proposed Lot 2, and a zoning map amendment from County IL to City C3 General Commercial Zoning District for proposed Lot 3 at 4075 Kilburn Avenue, Gambrell Solar LLC for FP Development LLC is the applicant. Number 10, an ordinance approving the pre-annexation of 4075 Kilburn Avenue. 11, an ordinance approving a special use permit for a mural on the south side building wall in a C4 urban mixed-use zoning district at 602 North Madison Street. Becky Haddad for Mary's Place is the applicant. 12, an ordinance approving a zoning map amendment from C1 limited office zoning district, R3 multifamily residential zoning district, and a special use permit for a planned unit development for 4 3 units and 3 4 units in an R3 multifamily residential zoning district at 5918 Elaine Drive, Welcome Residency Incorporated is the applicant. 13, an ordinance approving a variation to reduce the site triangle setback from the required 20 feet to 18 feet in a C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District and C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 7475 East State Street. Smart Signs Incorporated for Machine Shed LLC is the applicant. 14 has been laid over. 15, an ordinance approving a zoning map amendment from C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District to R2 Two-Family Residential Zoning District and a special use permit for a planned unit development consisting of 5 two-family structures in an R2 Two-Family Residential Zoning District at 4528 Navard Boulevard. Coral Dine LLC is the applicant. 16, an ordinance approving the sale of liquor by the drink, Class NGL, and packaged liquor sales, Class PKG, in conjunction with a restaurant, bar, and outdoor seating area in a C4 Urban Mixed-Use Zoning District at 519 East State Street. Paul Sletton, Harvey Wallbangers LLC, doing business as Harvey Wallbangers, is the applicant. 17, an ordinance approving the sale of liquor by the drink, Class L50, in conjunction with the bar and grill and video gaming terminals in a C4 Urban Mixed-Use Zoning District at 620 Market Street. Tyler Smith Rue Marché Incorporated, doing business as The Rue Marché, is the applicant. 18, an ordinance approving the sale of liquor by the drink, Class NGL, in conjunction with the sit-down restaurant in a C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District at 6905 East State Street. Doug Banks, Wesley Banks, Tyler Bauscher, Nick Rufinock, Midwest RT LLC, doing business as Rusty Taco, is the applicant, are the applicants. 19, an ordinance approving the sale of packaged liquor in conjunction with a grocery store in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 3118 North Rockton Avenue. Wrights Kumar Patel Suman Market Incorporated, doing business as Low Cost Groceries, is the applicant. 20, an ordinance approving the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a grocery store in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 3118 North Rockton Avenue. Wrights Kumar Patel Suman Market Incorporated, doing business as Low Cost Grocery, is the applicant. 21, an ordinance approving the sale of packaged liquor, Class PKG, in conjunction with a gas station and convenience store in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4307, 4311, 4315, 4317, 43XX, 4417, and 44XX Auburn Street. Mahan Drakumar R. Patel and Kian Incorporated, doing business as Citco Gas, is the applicant. 22, an ordinance approving the sale of tobacco products in conjunction with a gas station and convenience store in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 4307, 4311, 4315, 4317, 43XX, 4417, and 44XX Auburn Street. Mahan Drakumar R. Patel, Kian Incorporated, doing business as Citco Gas, is the applicant. 23, an ordinance approving the sale of liquor by the drink, Class L50, in conjunction with the restaurant and video gaming terminals in a C2 Limited Commercial Zoning District at 3130 North Rockton Avenue. Hardwinder Cower, AAG Groceries Incorporated, doing business as Wicked Wings, is the applicant. And 24, an ordinance approving the modification of an existing liquor license for 40% stock transfer in a C3 General Commercial Zoning District at 5801 Columbia Parkway. Diego Cervantes Guzman, Luis Montez, and Santos Ocelot, ROSV, LLC, Harrison Marketplace, LLC, doing business as Maciano's Pizza and Pastaria, are the applicants.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on the items before us? Alderman Bell?
Yeah, I'd like to just ask colleague to the right of me, him and I both see this. I hope all of us do, and maybe I'm missing something. The item for the 7th Street Olivo Brothers is not on this section. Is there a reason why?
Dr. Hammer?
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, it came out of committee as a denial, so it would not have an ordinance associated with it. So the ordinance approving that item will appear on the next council meeting on July 21st.
Gotcha. Does that play any part of us changing the way we vote, approving out of committee or changing it how we did earlier?
Well, if it's a denial, it would not have an ordinance associated with it. So if the council voted to adopt the denial, the matter would be closed.
Thank you.
But because of the reversal, it would be held over for 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Aye. Logeman. Aye. Toomberg. Aye. Frost. Aye. Torina. Hunty. Aye. Wilkins. Aye. Hoffman. Aye. Granith. Aye. Beach. Was that 16, 17, 18, 20, and 21? Thank you. Salgado. Meeks. Bell.
No on 19, 20, 21, 22.
Bonnie.
Aye.
Items 1 through 8, 13 ayes. Item number 9, 10, 12 ayes, 1 no. 11, 13 ayes. Item 12, 11 ayes, 1 no. Items 13, 14, 15, 13 ayes. Items 16, 17, 18, 12 ayes, 1 no. Items 19, 20, 21, 11 ayes, 2 noes. Item 21, 12 ayes, 1 no. Item 23, 11 ayes, 2 noes. Item 24, 13 ayes.
Thank you. Next, we're going to go to Finance and Personnel. Alderman Frost.
Thank you. Number 1 is an ordinance approving the retention of the 1% grocery tax to be implemented by local ordinance. Number 2 is an ordinance approving funding in the amount of $23,168.14 pursuant to the 2020 amended and restated intergovernmental cooperation agreement for assessment, compliant intervention. Number 3 is an ordinance approving an addition of the city-owned property located at 319 Heath Street to the city's MODA-owned program. And number 4 is an ordinance approving the purchase of Head Start classroom materials from Discount School Supply in the amount of $94,999.44. The funding source is the Head Start grant. I place these 4 matters up for passage.
Thank you. Council, is there any questions on the 4 items before us? Alderman Salgado.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just real quick, I know the 1% grocery sales tax. There's been talk about the insecurity, the food insecurity framework, about the funding sources for that, whether it's coming out of the casino, whether it's coming out certain pockets. I'd like to see if, going forward, if some of that money could be used towards that insecurity framework, if it's the general fund where that's being held, if we could potentially do that going forward, whether we put through a resolution or ordinance for that piece of it, for the funding source for the food insecurity framework that we're currently doing. from that perspective to, I know there's grants out there. I know there's state, grants and so forth for that, but I'd like to, put ourselves, the city, some skin in the game when it comes to that. And so I just think the grocery sales tax part of that, coincides with that for potentially looking at the food insecurity framework that's kind of being developed, looking at different options. I know we have the mobile piece right now that's happening across the city from that perspective. So just wanted to throw that out there. I'm in support of the 1% sales tax. $6 to $8 million is what we're talking. But I just want to see, hopefully, being part of a funding source for that food insecurity framework that we're currently working with some of our partners that we currently have out there. So, thank you. That's just a comment.
Appreciate it. Any other discussion? Seeing none, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Durkee. Aye. Logeman. Aye. Toomberg. Aye. Frost. Aye. Torina. Aye. Prunty. Aye. Wilkins. Aye. Hoffman. Aye. Granith. Beach. Aye. Salgado. Aye. Bell. Aye. Bonnie. Aye. 13 ayes.
Excellent. Is there a motion to adjourn? We have a motion. We have a second. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed have...